Sup guys, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to some more Echoes of the New World spoilers. So this time I have another 7 spoilers for you guys, and without getting into it too much, these are awesome. I'm stoked to go over these. So first of all, we have Gil Lapis, Usurper of Maddening Power. So here we have good old Gil once again, looking pretty snazzy. He's a 600-700 for 1 of any, 1 darkness and 1 light, so now he has darkness and light. That's actually pretty interesting lore-wise, I suppose. He has a Resonator Wanderer. He has Will of Despair, which we saw last time. Precision, and when this card enters your field, search your deck for a light or darkness chant will total cost 1. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you can get some pretty cool stuff with this. You can get like the Nameless Mist, Scorn of Dark Alice, Unseen Pressure, Soul Hunt. There's a lot of stuff you can get. There's also another one you can get, which we'll talk about later because it's one of the spoilers, which is really sweet. But regardless, it's a pretty powerful ability. Being able to tutor up something, especially a pretty powerful spell, even though it has to be a 1-cost darkness chant. There's some pretty good 1-cost darkness chants, even the ones that I already went over are pretty good. But he also has a second ability. Effects of chants you control cannot cause you to lose life. And then it says, in parentheses, damage causes life to reduce, not loss of life. So basically, it means the card has to say, you lose whatever life, not like you take damage. It's just kind of like covering itself with that. And then it says this card gains +100/+100 for each other Resonator with Will of Despair you control. So I think this card is going to be pretty good if Will of Despair is good. He seems pretty solid. And if you're playing like a control type deck, like being able to tutor up a really good control card, like a discard card, or like just a good like kill spell, I think that's pretty good. So I think Gil Lapis, Usurper of Maddening Power, is going to be pretty good. Also, he's a super rare, so there's that too. And speaking of super rares, we have our next card, the Heteroclite Excalibur. And this card is fucking awesome. Other than having some of my favorite art I've seen so far, it just looks completely awesome. It is a super rare chant, which is crazy. It costs 1 darkness to cast, so you can tutor for it with the Gil Lapis that we just saw. And it just says, remove target Resonator from the game, you lose 500 life. That is incredibly powerful for 1 darkness. This is going to be one of the best removal spells in the game, I think. And you can tutor up with Gil Lapis, and you won't lose to 500 life if he's out on the field. Basically, it's just meant for him, or meant to supplement him, or to go with him. But I think this will see a lot of play outside of Gil Lapis. It'll see a lot of play just in any darkness deck. It is a fantastic card. And since it says remove, like the on-death triggers will not happen because it just straight up removed from the game. So that's really sweet. So I'm excited for this card. It is a super rare. I hope to get a full playset of these as soon as I can. So yeah, excited for this one quite a bit actually. The next card is Sylvia, Blade of the Supreme King. Here we have Sylvia. She's back. She's not dead, boys. She is a 600-600 for 1 fire and 1 wind. She's a Resonator minion of the Primogenitor, so she's still Gil Lapis's minion. She has Will of Despair. She has Swiftness, so 600-600 Swiftness for 2. That's pretty good. And it says whenever this card attacks, target J Resonator cannot block this turn. It's a pretty good ability, especially in a like aggro-oriented deck. So if there's an aggro-oriented Will of Despair deck, I think this card could be quite good. She also might even have a home in the current Priscia decks running around. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Priscia is a little overbearing right now. But in any case, I think this is a cool card. It is a rare. That's just happy to note. The art is fantastic. She looks awesome. And overall, I think it's pretty good. This is a solid card. I'm glad to see some more Will of Despair cards that like are playable. This card's definitely playable and has the potential to see play in New Frontiers. Next up, we have one of my favorite cards from this spoiler, and probably one of my favorite cards spoiled so far at all, other than the Heteroclite Excalibur. I think that's like amazing. But anyway, Valentina, the Crumbling Illusion. She's an 800-900 for 7 total will. That is insane. She costs so much. There's so much like high will cost cards in this set. She costs 5 of any, a darkness, and a water. She also has Will of Despair. She's a Resonator Wanderer. The art is just absolutely fantastic. I love how she's just like crumbling apart, kind of like chipped paint or something. And it says you may pay 1 less to play this card for each Resonator in your graveyard. So there you have a good way to reduce her cost. And her other ability like factors into this, and it says at the beginning of your turn, put a Resonator from your graveyard into your field. I absolutely love effects like this. I'm not sure if this will actually see any play, but there's definitely some potential there for some like Reanimator style build where you dump dudes into your graveyard and like try to start like bringing big scary ones back into play. I think it's really cool. Yeah, there's not much else to say about that. I think this will also see some play in like epic stories or any like side formats like that. Any singleton format could probably come up with some cool stuff for this. So I really like this card. Yeah, I like it a lot. One of my favorites. Next we have Mikage Sisters, Patriarch of the Vampires. He's at 800 for 2 darkness and 1 of any. He's a Resonator Vampire with Will of Despair. He has Quick Cast, and when this card enters your field, pay any amount of life. J Resonators your opponent controls gain -100/0 for each 100 life paid this way until end of turn. And whenever a Resonator is put to your graveyard, or put to a graveyard from your opponent's field, put a +100/+100 counter on this card. So Mechag A is not as good as his J Ruler form. I think he's okay. The fact that he has Quick Cast is pretty good, and the fact that he can like basically act as a combat trick. You know, coming in, reducing the attack of all your opponent's dudes, and then like maybe being a surprise blocker and killing off a guy. That's okay. And then, you know, if he kills off a guy, he'll get a +100 counter. I think he's okay. I don't think he's nearly even close to as exciting as the other cards that I've already talked about. But will he see play in anything? I don't know. Probably not. He's probably a good limited card for sure. And I don't even think he's that good in a vampire style deck. But yeah, he's okay. But the next card is also vampire related, and I think it actually is super sweet. So here we have the Mikage Sisters, which has gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. They are a 500 for 1 of any and 1 darkness, Resonator Vampire, Will of Despair, and you can, they have, well, it, I guess, has 3 separate abilities. You can rest it to destroy target Resonator with 200 or less attack, so that kind of combos with Mikage. You can rest it to deal 200 damage to your opponent, and you gain 200 life. Yeah, that's pretty good. Or you can rest it to remove a +100/+100 counter from target Resonator to this card. So basically you can move 100 counter, +100/+100 counter from one card to this card. Jeez, I don't know why that was so hard to say. But in any case, it's a 500 for 2. It's pretty good stats. It's only an uncommon, so you will see this a lot if you do any drafts, or at least more than rares and such. And it's a vampire. I think this is pretty cool. I was really hoping to see like another Mikage Sister as like maybe like a super rare, like a really powerful one, or a really cool one with a really cool ability. But I like this one as well. I think it's pretty good. And I might even include this in my Wanderer Vampire deck. Yeah, being able to destroy Resonators with 200 or less attack is actually relevant in Wanderer. You can blow up a good amount of good cards that you see like in Alice's World decks or any like turbo type decks. Blows up a lot of mana dorks and booty cats and all that stuff. So yeah, I actually really like this card. I think it's cool, and I'm definitely gonna play it at least somewhere. So yeah, and then we have one more card for this reveal. We have the Ambition of Lapis, and it is a chant for 2 darkness, 1 of any, and it just says destroy target Resonator. Its controller loses 400 life, and it is a common, so you will see this a lot in draft. So basically, I think it's a pretty good draft card. I don't think it'll see a whole lot of constructed play, especially when you can play the Heteroclite Excalibur. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Heteroclite? I don't know. Anyway, why would you play this if you can play the Excalibur? I mean, you do lose some life when you play Excalibur, but it straight up removes the card and only costs 1. So I don't see Ambition of Lapis seeing a whole lot of play, but who knows? Maybe it does somewhere that really wants to blow up a dude and get in for some 400 life. And it will definitely see play in limited formats. So there you guys go. This was actually one of my favorite spoilers to talk about so far. So many cards that I really, really like. The Heteroclite Excalibur, Sylvia is pretty sweet, Valentina is absolutely awesome, and I really like the Mikage Sisters. So yeah, Will of Despair is definitely turning around. I was kind of down on it after the last spoiler video, but I'm back on train, man. Will of Despair all the way. I love these cards. So I am super excited to see some more Echoes of the New World spoilers. Hopefully we get some more super rare chants. I think that's really awesome. So yeah, I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too, and I hope you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that crap. Regardless of what you do, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a good one all, and I'll see you later.